What's up, boys? Taking a look at some more NBA player props over on Prize because we've been on a huge run and we had yet another good day yesterday, and it was a pretty good day for the video as well. So we're gonna go ahead and hop in. This applies to Prize Picks, but also other player prop websites out there and also sports books. But if you're in a state where Prize Picks is available, I highly recommend joining. I absolutely love the website. It gives you guys 100% deposit match up to $100 when you guys use my code DOMG. It's set lines, so the odds don't change or anything like that. So for example, if you pair Zubac and Powell points, overs, or lesses, or whatever you guys want, you guys will win ×3, or you can pair it up with 3s, 4s, and 5s and win a lot of money doing so, up to 10 times your money. You guys can even win if you guys get like 2 out of your 3 right. You guys can win if you get 4 out of your 5 right, a bunch of different combinations. So it's available in most states and most of Canada. You guys have to be 18 years or older. Link is down in the description below. And one final thing, I'll make this super quick. The Patreon is available. We had another good day yesterday on the Patreon. We were 4-2 on the day, but the top 3 hit. How the Patreon works is that I have 3 tiers: NFL, NBA, and all sports. I rank every single prop that I post by confidence level, and I also give you guys a write-up with every single post. And the top 3 all hit yesterday. The top 3 absolutely smashed. It was a very good night. 4-2 in total on the night, so it was pretty solid. And for 4 straight days, by the way, the top 4 have been 3-1 or better. About 3 days ago, we had a 6-0 sweep, so we've definitely been hitting over on the Patreon. 17-6 NBA run, so 17-6 NBA run over there on the Patreon. That is available if you guys are interested. So link is down in the description below. We are up to 325 members, by the way, which is insane. 325 members over on the Patreon. If you guys are wondering how we're doing with NFL has been pretty solid for the most part, especially for the top play. Sunday top play has been 6-0-1 so far this season, and I have a top play over on the Patreon. I have 2 pretty much top plays over on the Patreon for NFL, but that kind of went on a little bit longer than I expected it to. But let's hop in and talk about this player prop here. So this one here is going to be a rebound prop here. We have somewhat of a shorter slate here. We have like a 3 p.m. game, all that different stuff. I'm usually not a big fan of those early morning games, if you want to count 3 as being in the morning, but earlier than normal, we'll say. But I want to go with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I'm going with Jarrett Allen over 10 rebounds. Now stay for the breakdown here and see if it's something that you want to play and tail at your own risk. This is at 10.5 on sportsbooks, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with 10.5 on the sportsbooks, not on a site like Prize Picks, but when you're bumped down to like 10 on Prize Picks. Prize Picks, by the way, is -137 odds. I believe that's what I've heard. So he was a -160 to go over 9.5, and they bumped it up to 10.5, which is a good sign. So plus 105 to go over 10.5 on the sportsbooks right now. I'll show you guys that in a second. He is 3-1-1 so far this season. We take a look at his game log. So in 5 games this season, he has pushed 1 time, he has lost 1 time, and he has hit in 3 straight games with 14, 16, and 11. Although the Boston game and the Washington game were both in overtime. So Cleveland one definitely, I believe, impacted him with the overtime, but Washington not so much. I think he was probably over by overtime in that game right there. So those games he had like a crap ton of minutes, but I'd probably expect about 30 minutes in this game for Jarrett Allen, which he's been able to get done in the past. He has 16 versus Orlando, and now he's facing the New York Knicks, who are a pretty damn solid matchup, and I'll show you guys that in a second here. But the New York Knicks are second right now in allowing the most rebounds per game. They've allowed the second most rebounds per game so far in the NBA this season. He actually had 17 last season against the Knicks. He had 34 minutes and had 17 rebounds against the Knicks. And that was with most of their team being healthy, I do believe. Like Cleveland had Evan Mobley still in the game. They had Julius Randle. They had Mitchell Robinson in the game. Although I believe Mitchell Robinson, no, he didn't get into foul trouble. He just played only 17 minutes for whatever reason. But otherwise, Julius Randle was still in there. Robinson was still in there, and he was able to snag 17 boards over them. So I'm loving the spot for Jarrett Allen here. The odds are pretty solid, especially if you guys are on Prize Picks. The matchup is pretty solid. I'm liking that. He's hit this in 3 straight games. I'm liking a lot of the spot right here for Jarrett Allen. And if you guys are on sportsbooks, I'm not, I'm a fan of the over 10.5. But I'm not telling you guys to play anything, tail at your risk, all that different stuff. But we're going to take a look at some other props here too. So, by the way, if you guys watch this a little bit early, I'll show you guys my NFL props real quick. This is going to take 2 seconds if you guys are watching this a little bit later. But Kenneth Walker over 83.5 rushing yards, I do like against the Giants right there. That starts at 425. I've already talked about this, but this is one of my top plays for sure. I'm obsessed with this play right here. Najee Harris over 2 receptions against the Eagles. This is one of my favorite props of the day for sure. Najee Harris over 2 receptions. It's got pretty solid odds. Especially if you guys are on sportsbooks, it's at 2.5. But I love the 2 spot on Prize Picks for sure. Tons of value on the board, I'm telling you guys, especially with stuff being bumped down like it is. But so there's a couple other valuable pieces here on Prize Picks, like NBA first half. NBA first half is amazing for sure. They haven't added, they put Bogdanovich here again at 12.5 PRA first half. Like, come on, man. First half PRA for Bojan. He has hit this in 5 straight games. Did I even say his name right, man? I suck ass with names. Anyways, I'm still waiting for, I don't know. I'm thinking about Porzingis again. I've already played Porzingis over 9.5 first half points. They haven't put him on the board quite yet. But Porzingis has smashed his first half points so far this season. I'm thinking about tailing that for a 3rd time. So we'll see if that ends up coming up. But if you guys are on like a sportsbook or anything like that, I don't mind Bradley Beal's points. Bradley Beal is not on the PrizePicks board quite yet. Like I said, they're not putting Washington's points on the board besides Kuzma for whatever reason, right now at least. They will end up going on the board. But I like Bradley Beal's points a little bit. What else we got here? They got a bunch of assist props. Chris Paul is definitely valuable at 10. Not necessarily on sportsbooks, but he's at 10.5 on sportsbooks at like -115. And he's bumped down to 10 on PrizePicks. But you guys can see the hit rate right here. And there's also a massive blowout in the Suns game, so definitely be aware of the blowout. Blah, blah, blah. 10 point spread right there. Be careful with that if you guys are playing these props, because they will probably pull their starters at the end of the game, especially if Phoenix beats them by more than 12 points. So be very, very careful with that one right there, because it is definitely possible that the Suns absolutely blow them out, and their starters will not play their full minutes. So be careful with that one for sure. But there's a couple other interesting props and all that different stuff. Jarrett Allen, I used to love last year. He's at 14.5 though. I'm not sure about the matchup versus the Knicks when it comes to points. I definitely love those rebounds for sure, though. I think you'll be able to snag a bunch of boards. We didn't call Capella, by the way, over 8.5 rebounds yesterday. I called that too, by the way. I called John Collins not getting as much work in the rebound game as Clint Capella because of the 0-day rest and all that. He just didn't have that great of a hit rate. I hate these rebound plus assist props. These rebound plus assist props have killed me this year. I don't know what it is. These props, I feel like I'm always on the wrong side of them, and when I put them as a lean, they hit. So I don't know what's going on with those rebound plus assist props. They have not been it for me. I love focusing on my assists and rebounds, especially when it comes to PrizePicks, because there's a lot of value with them when it comes to this PrizePicks board, with them being at set values like 5 assists or even like 4.5 assists at times. We had Kelly yesterday, the center for the Utah Jazz here. He was at 3 assists last night, and I put it on the Patreon because he was at a -145 to go over 3.5 assists yesterday, yet they had him at 3 on PrizePicks. So I absolutely smashed that yesterday, and it went very, very well. He had 4 assists. He went over that, and we cashed heavy on that, and Ben Simmons over 3.5 first half points. So that was awesome yesterday. But I'm trying to find some of these other props, man. Devin Booker, 27.5. I'm not a huge fan of this slate so far, I will say. Booker, I think he'll have a bounce back game here against the Rockets, but again, the blowout potential is really, really tough in this game here. So he's at home against the Rockets, just 12-point spread, man. It sucks really, really bad. I think Benjuro here should be able to kill this here against the Dallas Mavericks right there. He should be able to smash yet again for the 1-5 Orlando Magic. We'll see how he does. I think you could definitely go over his point total depending on what it is, but they haven't put on the PrizePicks quite yet. But we'll see what else we got, man, by the end of today. But we'll take a look at Kate Cunningham here. 5 rebounds. He faces Golden State. He smashes against Atlanta. Atlanta's been allowing a lot of guard rebounds for sure. I didn't even show you guys this earlier, but for Jarrett Allen, he's at -105 to go over 10.5 on FanDuel, which is nice, but over on PrizePicks, I like the value a lot more. But he's at like -175 to go over 9.5 on certain places, -108 to go over 10.5 there, plus 105 to go over 10.5 there. So a lot of value on Jarrett Allen, I will say, especially when it comes to PrizePicks, because you guys can get him at 10. So there's a little bit of a floor for the push at 10 rebounds right there for him. But otherwise, you have like Jason Tatum. He's a -130 to go over 2.5 3-point makes, I do believe. So that's decent value for PrizePicks. However, I'm not going to play Jason Tatum against Washington's defense. I weirdly kind of like Washington's defense, and also there is blowout potential. 9-point spread right there. Be careful with that game. Be careful with the Dallas game, and be careful with the Suns game especially. So there's a lot of blowout potential on the board. You could even say that Golden State has a little bit of blowout potential with the 7-point spread right there. So be careful with that. There's a lot of blowout potential in this game. This game could be definitely very interesting for props. It's a 238 over-under. The Spurs and the Timberwolves, both very, very fast-paced teams. I definitely am, that's catching my attention for sure. I love those high over-under, fast-paced games for sure. But otherwise, we have like Aaron Gordon on the board now. They just added these rebound props on the board. I'm interested in these. Jokic is 11.5 rebounds. What else we got? Porter at 6.5. Nothing super, super interesting. I'll take a look at the odds later and compare them to PrizePicks. But Rudy Gobert, 14.5. I usually like Rudy Gobert, but he's folded in 2 games so far this season against the Spurs. Only 7-9. Yeah, he's facing the Spurs again, and he's still at 14.5 rebounds. maybe that's a potential under. We'll see. He's not even been close to this in his 2 matchups earlier this season against the Spurs already. So we'll see how that one ends up going. But that's going to do it. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for sticking with me. Patreon link is down in the description below. PrizePicks link is down in the description below. Let me know what props you guys are liking down in the comments below. And that is pretty much going to do it. I appreciate you guys watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out, boys. Patreon, PrizePicks link down in the description below. Must be 18 years or older. Available in most states.